Hello, my name is Brandon Uzzle. I have been trying to record this video now for about 2 years, since, like last May when I thought about it the first time. I've been trying to get this video done for the month of May. And the reason I say May is because May is Stroke Awareness Month. And I just, being I have a lot of personal experience, I know, with stroke itself, and I just want to give some information, but also give somebody some hope who's possibly going through the same thing or going through anything that they feel they may be in a valley in their lifetime, that you definitely can come out of that situation. That any prognosis and diagnosis the doctor gives you, you can always come back around that situation. Because I know, like, from my own personal experience from me having a stroke when I was 27, 2017, was that no one saw that I was going to live. No one thought I was going to make it, or if I was going to make it, I would have, life, some issues going on, type of damage, maybe paralysis or anything. But I have none of that, thank God. Just a little short-term memory loss at times, but yeah. But yeah, I'm really blessed. I can definitely say that. But I can just start back, and this is definitely talking about just timing of things. Like, I'm not a religious person by any means of the word, but I definitely believe in God. I definitely know that God is definitely working in my life every day. I can see the manifestations of things that God has done for me on a regular basis. But I know, just based on God's timing of things as well. Just how things just line up perfectly they're supposed to line up. And yeah, so around the time, like I said, February 1st of 2017. I was working at my job. I was working in a call center as a debt collector. I really didn't like the job. I had been at the job at that point in time for probably about, 6 months, 6, 7 months, something like that. And the entire month of January, I had a headache, like a horrible, horrible headache. It was the worst headache I've ever had in my life. And it was consistent. It would leave sometime throughout the day, but it would always come back, and would come back like 10 times, like killer Dilla. And I kept putting it off, saying that I need to get some new glasses and things like that. And like I said, my job had been there for like 6, 7 months. My benefits at my job hadn't kicked in yet. So I already had appointments set up to go to the doctor and things, and to go to the optometrist and everything to get new glasses. But yeah. So like I said, I was at work, working and everything. I went to lunch, came back from lunch. I was feeling horrible. My head was just like throbbing at this point in time. Like, it was wanting to pop off. Like, to take this shit off and just sit on the side right quick. Just take this whole damn thing off, and I'll come back for it later. Like, this shit was ridiculous. It was, like I said, the worst headache that I've ever experienced. And it went on for, like I said, about 30 days. I had that headache. And then the headache transitioned from just a headache to a headache and a neck ache. So the back of my neck was just killing me. It was like throbbing. I'm sitting at work. I'm like, yo, my head is killing me. So my manager comes over. She looks at me and she like, you don't look good. She go get a first responder. And the first thing the first responder says, she gets to me, she says, like, you're having a stroke. So in my head immediately was that, oh, you about to die. Oh, you about to die, boy. This shit's real now. It felt like something crazy, like something really, really bad was going on. But in my head, I was like, okay, whatever. It's going to be all right. It's going to be fine. But when she said stroke, my first thought was, oh, you about to die. And that's that. And so as they're looking, trying to figure out like who they need to call and everything, so they call 911. They said, who we need to call from your family? I said, don't call my mother. Call my sister. Because if I die, I don't want my mama to claim my body. I want her to be the person who comes to the hospital and find me. And I don't want to put that burden on my sister either, but I was thinking that my sister may can handle it a little better, but probably not. Not looking at hindsight, of course, she couldn't handle that any better than anybody else because we're really tight. But I told him, call my sister. And me being me, I was sitting at my desk. I'm like, yo, I feel like I'm about to pass out. So in the midst, before me saying about to pass out, I was throwing up pretty bad, like projectile, like the Exorcist type shit. And it was just extreme. And I'm like I'm sitting at my desk now, and I'm like, yo, I need to lay down. I take my jacket off, ball it up on a ball, and I lay on the floor. And I passed out like stone cold. Like I remember I woke up from myself snoring. That's how I woke up. And I heard somebody, yeah, he's out. Like he out, Lord, he out. Go call 911. So they call 911. And the ambulance gets there. Like I said, I'm laying on the floor. They all around me and everything. I'm like, okay, where's the ambulance located? Because I see the direction they came across the floor. I saw they came across the floor. I see up on the desk. I see the granny rolled across the floor. I'm like, why are they on the other side of the building? They need to come over here. So I asked them, I said, where's the ambulance? They said, oh, it's over there. I'm like, why y'all over there if I'm over here? They were like, I was like, can y'all tell the ambulance, come on, can you bring the ambulance on this side of the building, please? I don't want you to roll me across this floor in front of all these people in my face. I don't want that. Can y'all get the ambulance on this side of the building, please? Because, I ain't about to be the fat nigga that had a stroke and then the fat nigga that just got rolled out across in front of everybody at the job. That was just like, that was not happening. I was not, I was like, this is already embarrassing enough. Now you want to roll me in a gurney in front of all these people. After I've been on this floor I've been throwing up in this place. I've been threw up everywhere, not on nothing. It was in trash can, thank God. But I've been throwing up. I've been heaving. I'm looking bad. I'm drenching sweat. I'm looking like cocaine is a hell of a drug. Like, I look real bad. So they get the ambulance, come on that side of the building. They lift me up, and as they lift me up, I take my jacket, and that's near a place across my face. I'm like, I don't need everybody in my face. I'm being rolled out of here. Just let me roll me to the door, and let me just get out of here. Just get me out of here. And they take me to the hospital. And the first hospital they take me to, the hospital can't do anything for me because as they do, I think an MRI or a CT scan, or if that's the same thing. When they did the scan, basically, they see at this point in time there's actually a bleed going on. And at the hospital I'm at, they don't have a trauma unit. They don't have anything to do anything with that, basically. So they now get the Nightingale and fly me across town to Central Norfolk General. And there is where they did the surgery to drain the fluid off my brain from the brain bleed that had started to happen from the stroke. So all of this, like, I'm just like, wow, this is crazy. Like, I'm not thinking about nothing about this because I'm completely out. But that night, the day of the stroke, it's crazy the things you can hear when you're in that type of condition. Like, I was in a medically induced coma. Like, I was in a medically induced coma. And the whole time I was in there, like, I could hear everything. Like, I made it like I was out of it, but I could hear. And I can remember the doctor or doctors, whoever, and nurses, people saying, like, he's not going to make it. He's not going to make it. And if he does make it, he's going to have some serious damage or some serious deficits. But, I mean, I kept hearing that, and I kept thinking, like, wow, this is really what it's going to be. And it's crazy the thoughts you have to yourself when I'm saying, like, yo, you real whack, dog. You about to be 27 years old, and you about to go out because of a stroke. Okay. That was like the first time I'm thinking, like, yo, you real whack. Like, you real whack. And because I told you it was a moment of acceptance that I was going to die. But that moment of acceptance turned to keep going once I heard my sister. My sister, Nikki. Nikki came in there. I heard everybody there, but I remember hearing her voice in particular saying, he's not going to die. He's not going to die. I remember her saying that he's not going to die. Like, and I was like, I can't die. Like, I can't die. You die. You didn't achieve anything you want to do with your life. You can't just slip away. So that night was a night, literally, I feel like I was fighting all night. Like, Old man death was around me all night, and I was like, oh no, big dog. We was tapped in. We was playing chicken all night. I'm like, oh no, baby, step on back from me. Like it was that moment I feel like I was really close to could have crossed over, or anything. And I know, like, I'm pretty sure that my body was in a way feeling like, oh, you might cross over too, because my blood pressure would not budge. Like, my blood pressure that day was what, 250 over like 190 by the time I got to the hospital. So yeah, that's just pumping out of way out of control. And they couldn't get it down. So at this point in time, we're worried about possibly of another stroke or a heart attack. So I'm just remembering this, like, I mean, at night too, like, being there and waking up in the middle of the night. It was the first night I was there. And I felt like my thought was I got abducted by aliens. Because I had the mask and stuff on. And I realized I'm hooked to a whole bunch of wires and cables. I'm like, hold up. And then I realized I had a catheter in. That's what really threw me. I'm like, hold the hell up. What is this down here? I'm trying to pull everything out. Like, I'm in that bed. Like, I'm going, like, I'm pulling. Next thing I know, I got like 6 nurses holding me down. And I'm like, oh, they really trying to kill me. Oh, they really trying to take they really trying to take my ass out. I was like, hold the hell up, what's going on here? Like, why? And then I woke up the next thing, like, I went back out. I don't know if they gave me something to put me to sleep. I wake up again, and I'm strapped to the bed like Hannibal Lecter. I'm like, what in the entire hell is going on here? Like, why? What? I don't know what happened. I don't know what's happened, what transpired throughout this day. I can't remember anything from earlier that day. I just knew I went to work that day, and now I'm in a hospital. And wow, yeah. So that was going on. So that was early on. That was like the first day of everything. And so as we're progressing through the days and everything. Oh, one thing as well. The day that I had my stroke, like February 1st, my insurance on my job kicked in January the 29th, January 30th or something that year. So it was all like really divine time and how things lined up. Like, you have a stroke, and then your insurance for your job have just kicked in immediately right there. Right then and there, I was like, wow, okay. So this is the first week in the hospital, and there's just a lot of things. Like, they couldn't get my blood pressure to go down. So daily, I'm getting reports and stuff, and they do, blood work and stuff, of my kidney function, my heart function, stuff like that. And every day, my kidney function is going down, like, every single day. Like, it went from, my kidneys being, fully operational and everything, until them telling me I was in stage 4 kidney failure. Like, I had kidney disease so bad that, yeah, it was stage 4 kidney failure. And I was like, wow, and I'm being dialysis. All this about my new normal. Like, it came to a point, like, I wasn't a moment of acceptance, it was a moment of, like, sadness. Like, this is real. Like, I might be paralyzed. It was all these things, like, they were saying, like, they didn't know if I could walk, because I was in the bed for so long. And I knew by the point, like, I can walk, but I didn't know if anything was going to be off. Like, would I have some type of, a limp or anything? So I'm just saying, like, okay, like, we have to keep you down for a while. So I was down for a minute. I was drinking, everything was thick, and I couldn't swallow, a regular glass of water. I had to have thickener and everything, because I was a risk of choking. So, how my throat muscles work after having a stroke and everything. So I, so like I said, the kidney failure, everything that my kidneys went to stage 4 kidney failure. And that was, I think, before I even started rehab, that I was in stage 4 kidney failure. So that was going on. And then my heart was enlarged from having high blood pressure since the age of 10. And yeah, my heart's enlarged, and kidneys began to fail. All of that, this is all from hypertension, being untreated for so many years. And just living and going. And it's so crazy that they just knew. that I was on some type of like, extreme like party drugs and everything. They kept asking me. I mean, they asking me the first day, like what kind of drugs I take. I'm like, nah, what? Nothing. And they asked my sister too, like what kind of drugs does he take? They were trying to figure out why would this man's blood pressure be this high? Why is he 27 years old? Walk around blood pressure this high. So the only thing they could think of was to say that I possibly was on some type of drugs, some type of party drugs or something. But your boy don't do party drugs. I may have a cocktail every now and again, but that's it. That's not my thing. I ain't judging about who do it, but whatever. So, yeah. So it was like bad news after bad news after bad news. And my mind, when I realized that and I made it through, and I made it through the stroke, it was now the point of going through the rehab and everything to get back to who I was before, even better. And that process, it was so much depression. So much depression, especially when you find out you're in kidney failure. You have to do everything. You have to learn to do everything, like cook, all this stuff, like clean up and everything. I had to do, occupational therapy. I had to do speech therapy, physical therapy. I was in every single therapy that they had. I even did music therapy. That was very helpful. But it was a lot to get over. It was a lot to get over. And it was like, I was in the valley, but I knew I could get to the other side of it. It had to get to the point where I believed that, because at first I didn't. I was really depressed. My sister would call me in the daytime, and after therapy, I'm starting to say it because I'm tired. I'm like, I'm really tired after doing that little bit of physical therapy today. Why do I feel like that? I feel exhausted. And my body was exhausted. Like every littlest thing, the little bit of anything, I was so exerted. Especially when I first started physical therapy and started having me climb stairs and stuff, I was like, oh my God, like why am I so tired? Like I'm a big boy, but I could climb some stairs before. I could do things, but it was like I could tell a real difference. And that's Sister Nikki again, talking to Nikki. One day I was like, Nick, I think I was crying. I was like, oh my God, I feel like everything's just, I don't know who I am anymore. Like, how can I still act still? Can I still perform? Like, I just felt like everything I wanted for my life is nothing. Like, that's it. Like, you can't do that anymore. You're going to have somebody take care of you. You have somebody, you just can't live your life. You can't be Brandon at the brand that you want to be. And that's what really scared me the most, was the fact that it's like, okay, now I'm 27 years old. I lived on my own since I was about 22. And I never lived with people. I don't live with people. No situation, like nothing like that. And it just was like, oh wow, what we really about to do this? Like, we really doing this now. So the doctor said, like I had to move in with a family member or something for some time, all of that. And I was in the hospital. So yeah, I started physical therapy and everything, and my kidneys definitely started to turn around. Everything turned around. My kidneys went from stage 4 kidney failure to 100% operational. It went from, you may need dialysis to I'm using bath on my own, everything. Like, it was that was a really scary moment. Like, I was like, yo, if I do a dialysis every week or something like that, this is really going to be a major, like, what? Who are you, yo? Like, it was so much. It was just so much, like, and just realizing, like, everything that I wanted for myself was just, that's it. It's not gonna happen. You can't do it anymore. But when I tell you, God brought me back 1,000%, 1,000%, okay? Like, and the thing was, like I said, there were signs, everything, that I was going through some type of medical crisis, because I was doing a play the month before. I was going to play the month of January. I was rehearsing for a play. And I usually learn my lines probably like within a week or two after getting the play. Your boy was still holding that script the entire time I was in rehearsal. I never could get off book. I never could get off book for that show. I'm like, what is going on here? And at first, it's crazy thing is like, it wasn't that much dialogue for my character. He was like, it was a really big cast of characters. So my character came in and out like a thing like, okay, I'm here sometimes, I'm out. I could not remember any of those lines for nothing. Like, nothing. It was so hard. Like, I was like, this is, and that's what really, that was probably like major sign for you, like, Brandy, something's really going on. But I just missed it too, that you can't remember these lines. It's something that this ain't normal for you. You usually have your lines down pat, you ready to go. I didn't have a rhythm. I couldn't even find a rhythm to the character. I couldn't find a voice. I couldn't find it was like I couldn't find just nothing. Like nothing was working. And I just dismissed it all for being something else. And just kept going, just kept going, just kept going. But it's the fact of please, like, listen to your body. Listen to your body. Listen to when your body is telling you slow down or pay attention. My body was saying slow down and to pay attention. Like, pay attention, dog. You're doing something crazy to your body. You're eating retarded. You're eating crazy right now. You're doing dumb stuff. You need to listen to your body. And I definitely was not doing that. I was, like I said, just going, just like, it was more like a eating and just moving, this type of thing. Like, just nothing was ever planned. I was just like, I was working, doing theater, doing a play, and my normal routine. And that wasn't working for me. It obviously wasn't working. So it's just the fact of listen to yourself. Also, don't be so hard on yourself when things get really, really rough. You feel like you can't see no out of anything. Just know that there is a divine timing for your things as well, for things to take place. Like, I had insurance, I know, for about 10 years by the time that my insurance kicked in. The day before, like 2 days before I had the stroke. Like, I had insurance for like a good 10 years. And it held out. Like, that stroke literally held out until you can get this paid for. You're gonna need this insurance. You really need this insurance, and I definitely did. It definitely came through. Thank God for the job I hated and the insurance that they gave me. The insurance I love, but the job I hated. You know, it was such a blessing. Because, like I said, put things in perspective, you know, just looking at things like, wow, like, I was really in a real slump. I was in a real stupor. I was really not feeling life at that point in time. And it gave me appreciation. It gave me, you know, I feel like more depth to life, more depth to understand, you know, to be a storyteller, you know, and I appreciate that. But when I was in the learning processes, I was like, this is stupid. This is dumb. Why we got to go through all this? Why you stress me like this? Like, But, you know, but like I said, for anything you're going through, you know, it doesn't matter. It could be, you know, a horrible job, a horrible relationship, you know, an illness. You can come out on the other side of that as well. You can come out on the other side of that and look back on it and be like, wow, I came through that. Like, that did not take me out. Like, it did not. It really tried. It tried its damnedest to do it, but you didn't. See you next time. See you later. See you later, old man death. That's what it felt like. See you later, Grim Reaper. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. I got too much stuff to do here. Got too many stages to walk. I have too many songs to sing and too many monologues to perform. You know, it's just too much I got to do here. I won't done yet. God won't done yet. So here we are.